Hey Ciara, have you ever been fired from a job?
I'm going to answer this one with like a sort of. So
Okay.
I'll give you a bit of background. About 5 years ago now, I was living in Australia, and for the visa that I was on, I had to do 3 months of required farm work.
Okay, sounds
this
interesting.
this meant things like, what was I doing? I was picking tomatoes, picking lemons. I packed sweet potatoes for a month, hence why I'm so absolutely shredded.
True.
8 kilogram sweet potatoes. But one of the jobs that I had was working on an avocado farm. And this was actually a really sweet gig. I was just like looking after the plants for the most part. But one of the things that they had us do was to peel avocado seeds.
Aren't those things like super hard? Or like,
Yes.
how do you do that?
Well, that's the gross part. So what they would do is they would put the seeds in water.
Yeah.
And then the skin would get a little bit loose, but still really, really hard. And then you would have to peel this slimy skin off with your hands.
That is nasty.
But because there were so many people trying to get their extended visa and doing this farm work, there were loads of people applying for the same jobs. So they only wanted like the best and the fastest. So they made us do time trials
Oh my god.
of peeling these avocado seeds. And I was actually really good.
Oh.
You know, it's an unknown skill, expert avocado seed peeler. But they put us in pairs. So I was with my friend, and unfortunately she wasn't as fast.
She was really slow.
That's one way to say it, yeah.
So
So we both got fired unceremoniously from that job. And then I ended up working from 4 a.m. until 2 p.m. in the sweet potato packing factory while being screamed at. So
Oh my, that doesn't sound fun.
I wish I'd been fired from that job.
Yeah. But that's a weird like requirement to stay in Australia to do then. How many hours was it?
It was 3 months,
3
88
months.
days.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
weird.
It was quite the time.
Yeah, I get that. Sounds
But
interesting.
I'm wondering whether you have perhaps a stranger story, Christine. Have you ever been fired from a job?
Well, I have, my answer will be very short because no, I've never been fired. Because,
Look at that, a responsible citizen.
yeah, honestly, I haven't had many jobs, which sounds very bad. But I'm like 26, and the current job that I have is my first
Big girl
grown-up,
job.
yeah, my big girl job. And before that, I used to do freelance work, and I also did in a theater cafe, which was very stressful.
Oh.
Because then everything, like everyone came to you during the break, which was like 20 minutes, and everyone wanted drinks, which was like 200 people or something. And they all wanted drinks, and they would pull like behind the bar, pull your clothes, like, hey, I want a Coke. And it
They
was
can't
awful.
do that.
Yeah, I know they did because they were like desperate for drinks.
Oh my gosh. How bad was the play that they were like, I need alcohol right now?
Nah, I don't think the plays were bad, hopefully, but just yeah, time limit and then wanting the drinks as fast as possible. So, but that's the worst. No, it was a fun job, but also not the best paying job. But never got fired, so that's good. I think.
Yes, I'm so proud of you, Christine.
Thank you. I'm proud of myself.
And I promise not to fire you from the podcast, at least for today.
Oh my god, you're making me nervous.
Well, let's see how you get on, because today we are chatting all about losing jobs, obsessive cleaning, and even a little bit of polyamory. It's season 1, episode 6 of Friends.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello and welcome to Friends of Friends, the ultimate Friends rewatch podcast. I'm Ciara Murphy.
And I'm Christine Schumacher, and we are back rewatching the entire Friends series.
Why? Well, number 1, because you can't get fired from watching TV.
Nice.
And number 2, because of course we want to watch it with you.
Each week, we'll be rewatching an episode of Friends, talking about it, sharing behind-the-scenes content, and discussing anything and everything about the show that shaped an entire generation.
Amazing. So, before we get into it, Christine, if your week was an episode of Friends, what would it be called?
Ooh, I have a very fun story for you this time.
I'm so excited.
It will be called The One with the Train and the Dog.
Okay, this is your second train-related story.
All right. I travel a lot by train, so maybe that's That's the reason.
But I will tell you, you have me absolutely hooked.
Of course.
Since there's a dog involved.
Yeah. I said it was a fun story, but also kind of sad, but also fun, but also sad for me, but not for the dog.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. Don't get.
I will never watch the movie I Am Legend because
Is that the one with the train station and the dog waits for the owner who's dead?
I love how you.
No.
This is the same with like Lost, and you were like, "Is that the one with the little girl?" And I was like, "Absolutely not, Christine. No, I think you're thinking of a Japanese. No, it's not.
Yeah,
a
that's
Japanese
the one.
story like Hachi.
Yeah,
I think
that's the one. Yeah.
That's not I Am Legend.
Oh, then I don't know what it is.
Good try.
Yeah. Thank you. I do my best. But now I will tell you the story. My story. Okay?
I'm so desperate to tell you the story of I Am Legend, but we'll save that for after the podcast.
Okay, so now I will tell you my story of the dog and the train, and it's not a sad, it's a kind of sad story. Anyway, so I was on the train, and I was with my sister because we were going somewhere. It has been a while back, but I remembered it this week because I saw another dog on the train, so I got like a memory of like way back. Anyways, I was with my sister on the train, and it was like a long train trip, so I had my sandwich with me. And I was just sitting there, and I had no idea there was a dog near me.
Can you not sense them? I have like an excellent dog radar.
No,
I can just
yeah.
like feel them in the vicinity, and I'm like, ooh, puppy.
No, that's not me. I had no clue until I was sitting there with my sandwich in my hand, and then I was like looking at my sister, like who was beside me, and then suddenly I hear like. And I look over, and this dog has my whole sandwich in his mouth. And I was like, "Oh my god, that's my sandwich!" But
did you say that to the dog?
No, I'm kind of feeling like Ross over here, like my sandwich. No, but the owner felt like super bad for me because the dog ate my sandwich.
Was the owner not paying attention?
No, we were both not paying attention, and I had no idea there was a dog there.
Then I feel like the dog was kind of in the right then.
Yeah, maybe he took his chance, or like it was a she actually, but she took her chance. She saw an opportunity and she took it. So she ate my sandwich, but she was very cute, and then she let me pet her afterwards. So it was all good.
That was worth it.
Yeah.
Although I am debating whether I can consider that a truthful. What was your week like? Since this was months ago.
Yeah, okay, it was months ago, but I remembered because I noticed a dog in the train like last week.
Well, so. I will take any stories.
Okay, good.
About a dog. Speaking of, let's talk about I Am Legend.
Oh, no. Okay, tell me, like, super short what it is, because I have no idea.
Spoiler alert, the dog dies.
I don't want to. then skip it. I don't want to hear the story about how a dog dies. I'm sorry. So I told you the story about about my week. So I would love to hear your story as well. So Ciara, if your week was an episode of Friends, what would it be called?
Well, honestly, I'm wishing that mine was dog related because I wish everything in my life was dog related. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, this week I have an altogether different story for you. So I think my week would probably be called something like The One with the Salsa Lesson.
Okay, but I think you last time you told me that you don't like salsa.
Well, it's funny you remember that, Christine, because I definitely did. Yeah, last week I regaled you with a tale about refusing to go on a date with a guy because he invited me to salsa. Yeah. And here I am telling you about the one with the salsa lesson. Yes, I realize I am going against everything that I said, but times change, people change, and apparently we signed up for salsa classes. But it was not actually a successful salsa class, but not for the reasons that you may think. So we went to the salsa studio last Monday, showed up, and they were like, you're not in this class. You're in tomorrow's class.
Oh, no. That sucks.
Yeah.
Was it far away from your home, or was it close?
So. It was a trek across half the city. So we did make the most of it. We went out for cocktails afterwards. Oh, so that's nice. I cannot complain. No. And then we went back for the salsa class the following evening, which I'm going to be honest with you, Christine, it was actually really nice.
Yeah, nice. That's good.
Yeah, I think I have to rescind my previous comments about being a salsa disenfranchiser, which is definitely not the right word, but no, I think I'm into it now. Nice. stay tuned for more salsa updates coming soon.
Yeah, you will maybe in the future we'll get like a clip of you salsa dancing, and we'll post it on our Instagram.
Maybe.
Who knows? Who knows?
Well, anyway, on that note, Christine, are you ready not for a salsa lesson, but for a wonderful podcast episode?
Definitely.
Let's get into it.
Let's go.
So, this week we'll be discussing Season 1, Episode 6, The One with the Butt. You don't know how long I've been waiting to say that. Originally aired on October 27th, 1994, this episode was written by Adam Chase and Ira Ungerleider and directed by Arlene Sanford.
Joining the cast this week, we have Sophia Milos as Aurora. I cannot say that name, Aurora.
Beautiful.
Thank you. June Gable as Estelle Leonard.
But only in the DVD version.
True. And James Burrows as the director, and that's a familiar name.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you said so, because guess what, Christine? It's time for our first Friends Fact.
Yes, bring it on.
So, the role of movie director in this episode is actually director James Burrows.
That's so cool.
It's the man himself.
Yeah, I never realized that. I always thought like that's an awful man, but never realized that I was the actual director.
Maybe he was playing the part.
Yeah, I probably. I hope that he's a nice man in real life.
Yes. Well, some of you may recognize his name. We mentioned it in previous episodes because he did direct some of the early episodes of Friends. And here he is playing himself.
I hope not.
Playing a director in today's episode. Super fun.
Nice.
And another fact for you, not a Friends fact, but a regular Friends of Friends fact. This episode was ranked at 8 stars out of 10 on IMDb.
That's a little less than last week, right?
It is a little less, but still, we're still up there in the 8. So
yeah, that's good.
It's a solid episode. That's what the people say.
Nice.
So, Christine, would you be so kind as to give us a brief overview of today's episode?
Of course. So, in this episode, Monica's obsessiveness is put to the test after Rachel cleans the apartment, Joey lands a film role as Al Pacino's butt double, and Chandler enjoys a relationship with all of the fun but none of the responsibility.
So we have Monica, Rachel, Joey, and Chandler. I'm curious to see whether in today's episode we're going to get enough of my main girl, Phoebe.
Yeah, I don't know where she is. She is gone or something.
Well, she's in the episode, but apparently not one of the stars. So I live in hope that we'll still be seeing her plenty in today's episode.
Yeah, I hope so too. Anyway, this episode begins with the friends attending Joey's new musical Freud, with an explanation point at the end, of course, which is certainly quite unlike any other musical they've ever attended.
Quite indeed, yes.
Yeah.
But I wanted to start by saying this is the first episode where we do not start the episode in Central Park.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah, I mentioned that
Finally.
last time, but we weren't sure. But this is a confirmed fact. Yes. First episode where we were outside of Central Park. So how exciting.
Yeah, and well, exciting. Now we are in a dark, creepy theater show.
Does it bring back painful memories of working behind the bar, Christine?
Maybe. No, but weird, I don't know, weird theater, like kind of like small and creepy, like dark. or
Amateur
something.
theatre,
Yeah,
perhaps.
that might be the reason.
Although they
Poor
seem to
Joey.
have put the whole budget for this theatre production on Joey's beard. I
Yeah.
thought it looked fantastic.
He looked great.
He
Just like
did.
Sigmund.
And
Sigmund.
speaking of a transformation, you told us last week that this was the first episode where we'll be seeing the Rachel
Yes,
haircut.
but I did not pay attention to that. I completely forgot that she had a haircut by now. And now you're saying it, I'm like, oh, right, but I did not pay attention to that.
Honestly, I thought I really liked the haircut. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I can understand that Jennifer Aniston, your best friend, might have gotten a bit bored of it by the end, but like it has a vibe. It has style.
Yeah.
And it really was like a hit of the 90s, right? People were going into hairdressers and being like, give me the Rachel.
Yeah, they were copying it. It was like a big hit for anyone that wants to be like Jennifer Aniston. So
Well, I'm actually due to get a haircut pretty soon, so maybe
you're going to donate it again, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Nice.
So maybe it might be a little bit too short for the Rachel, but I
Maybe.
can still ask for it, and then we can post a video of that while I salsa dance.
I would love. Yes, let's do that. Let's shake on that. It's a deal.
It's a good thing our table is so long.
Oh man.
But you know what? I thought, well, it's clear that the friends are not supposed to be enjoying this theatre performance, but I have to say, Ross, he seemed like he was having the best time.
I saw that too. He had like a big smile on his face. Like everyone was like having like a quite like a questionable look on their face, and he was like, "Look at me, hello, look at me." I'm doing his face like. Ah.
Now that's what we should be posting on social media.
No, I don't think it's very pretty. But yeah, but his face was like so happy. Like he really liked the song about the schwang. Is that a word?
Apparently so, yes.
And I love the song. Like, wait, how does it start again? All you want is a ding dong, but you envy the schwang. Oh my god, my voice. And a thing through which you can tinkle, to play with or simply let hang.
Wow.
Thank
Folks
you.
at home, give it up for Christine.
I can play Joey, but I just want to say my voice is still not quite recovered from last week, so please don't judge my singing. It's awful.
She'll do proper karaoke next time.
Who knows?
Speaking of songs, I do have my final fact about the theme song.
Okay, I was thinking like the Joey song, but the theme song, okay.
The theme song, yeah. So for Friends, they actually only recorded a snippet of I'll Be There For You to begin with, but it was so catchy that people ended up loving it. And actually, a radio DJ in Nashville looped the song into a full-length song.
Okay.
And it was the reaction to this looped version that made the Rembrandts actually record a single version. So for this, they added another verse, a vocal bridge, repeated the chorus 4 more times, just in case you couldn't get enough. And that full-length song then ended up ranking high on the charts in more than 10 countries, including 4 number 1 positions.
Wow.
So there you go.
Yeah.
You're only getting like a 20-30 second glimpse into this fantastic song. But listeners at home, go ahead and give the Rembrandts a few more streams like they need it.
I don't think
on
so.
that hit. And you can also check out Christina Schumacher's version of All You Want Is, I don't even know what word they say there, but
A ding dong. All you want is a ding dong.
Oh,
That makes sense, right?
I just wanted you to sing it again.
Oh, it was a trick. You tricked me.
Anyway, after the play, the gang recover from whatever the heck that was that they just saw, and Chandler ends up asking out a beautiful woman named Aurora, while Joey receives a business card from Estelle Leonard, a talent agent.
Wow, but I think Chandler is so funny in this scene. He has like a couple of good quotes or like sayings in this scene, like a beautiful woman at 8, 9, 10 o'clock. That he says it like to Ross. I think it's so funny. And also, what would my opening line be? Excuse me. Blah, 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 blah.
I don't know. I would definitely use that as an opening line.
I would think the guy was having a stroke or something. So
Could be.
Could be. That's not a good first impression.
But good that you mentioned the 8, 9 o'clock thing, because last week we said that I would have a look at Matthew Perry's arm acting.
Yeah.
And figure out if I could find some facts about why he's such a physical actor. I have to say, Christine, I did fail at my task.
Oh.
I couldn't find out anything in particular that said, yes, he's known for his physical comedy, but
that's a shame.
I did find some fun facts about Matthew Perry anyway. So we know, I mentioned in a previous episode that his mother, Suzanne Marie Morrison, was a Canadian journalist who was press secretary to Canadian Prime Minister of the time, Pierre Trudeau.
Yeah, oh yeah.
What I didn't know is that Matthew Perry went to school with Pierre's son and future Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
Oh, he's cool.
Well,
I think that's
apparently
cool.
Matthew Perry didn't think so, because he used to beat him up.
Oh my god. That's so awkward.
And he got into trouble in that. But I believe acting was the way forward, because after his rebellious younger days. Matthew then went on to study acting at Buckley School in Sherman Oaks, Los Angeles, and that's where he took improvisational comedy classes. So that could probably be where we get his beautiful arm acting from.
Yeah, that's
Thank
cool.
you, Sherman Oaks.
Yeah, but then I quickly want to ask, does it mean that Matthew Perry is Canadian?
I believe legally American Canadian.
Ah.
Yeah, you remember a few weeks ago we spoke about the Toronto Blue Jays hat.
Oh, right, in his office. And I completely forgot and didn't make the connection in my head. Sorry.
So there you go. Well, there you go. Enemies with Justin Trudeau. So that was my fun fact about Matthew Perry for you.
Well, he should be like happy that he lived in America and not in Canada, because maybe Justin has like a grudge against him. I don't know. I hope not.
The lore is thick with this one.
Who knows?
But yeah, some really nice Chandler quotes in this segment of the show. But I also really liked some other quotes that we heard. So for example, when Joey was coming out and everybody was trying to give him compliments.
Yeah.
The only compliment that Rachel seemed to give him was, "You're in a play!"
Yeah, like, oh my god, it's so obvious.
Congratulations.
Yeah, but they tried to be like supportive of Joey, but at the same time they were really bad at it.
I mean, can you blame them?
No, at the same time, no. But it's your friend, so then even if it sucks, then you still say like, "Oh my god, amazing! You deserve an Oscar. Here you go."
Ooh, does he?
Not for this play.
But what he does apparently deserve is a card from a talent agency.
Yeah.
Again, loved the quote from Phoebe when Joey's like, "An agency left me his card. Maybe they want to sign me." And Phoebe's like, "Based on this play?"
Yeah.
"Based on this play!"
Classic Phoebe. Oh my god.
Beautiful. I'm so glad my queen is already kicking things off in style in this episode.
Yeah. Oh, poor Joey.
So we don't actually end up meeting the Estelle Leonard behind the card in this episode for most of us, but if you have the DVD box set at home, you will find her in a deleted scene. I found it on YouTube. You can also find it there. But basically, Joey goes to meet her in her office and she just chain smokes and eats a sandwich. So a great introduction to Estelle.
Estelle is great. I think she's pretty cool. So anyways, back at Central Perk, Chandler returns from a date with Aurora, who revealed that she is not only married to a guy named Rick, but she also has a boyfriend named Ethan. Nonetheless, Chandler thinks this is the perfect relationship. All the fun, talking, and sex with none of the responsibility.
Of course, Chandler would think this, and of course you would still love him afterwards, Christine. Oh?
I'm starting to doubt my decisions.
Oh.
But yeah, I don't know. But there is a more important fact here.
Tell me.
The lobster is still there.
No, you're kidding.
There, it is, like way in the back, and it's taunting me. I need to know what it is, but still no clue.
I didn't even notice the lobster. What I noticed was that everybody in Central Park was wearing blue.
Yeah? Oh, I didn't notice that.
We were just on two totally different wavelengths here.
What I did notice is that Aurora kind of reminds me of Bellatrix Lestrange from Harry Potter.
Ooh, it's the hair, right?
Yeah, and she was also wearing all black, so that also doesn't help. And I don't know, and I don't like her. So I also don't like Bellatrix, so that's maybe also a connection.
Well, then I think we know already who our modern day guest star of Aurora would be. Helena Bonham Carter.
That's her name? That's pretty.
Yeah,
I didn't know her name, but that would be a great fit for I wanted to say Bellatrix for Aurora.
Yeah, actually, Aurora is quite the interesting character because we find out at the beginning that she's supposed to be Italian, right?
Yeah.
Yet when Chandler is recounting their evening together, he says that she was in the Israeli army.
Oh, that does not make sense then.
As far as I'm aware, you can't do that.
Maybe voluntarily, or I'm not sure how it works, to be honest.
Oh, I love your high esteem for Aurora and that she's not just a liar.
Oh no.
But I have to say, I wasn't the biggest fan of her. No. I agree with everybody else saying like, "Oh, I'm sorry it didn't work out," and you know.
Yeah, because also like you should tell someone if you're in an open relationship beforehand, I think, because it's just rude. Like that she doesn't even like, he says like, you're divorced, you're a widow, and then she says like, she's like totally oblivious like why he asks that, and just like says like, oh, my husband, like it's the normalest thing in the world, like come on.
Well, nowadays it's a lot easier, right? Because
Yeah.
people would relay that information up front on apps and
Yeah,
things.
true.
But
Yeah.
I don't know, it's not the easiest thing to bring up in conversation, naturally.
No, but still, this was then, she told it naturally, kind of, like she's saying, like, we were there together, and then Chandler asks us, like, with who, and then she says her husband. But that would be a good moment to say, like, oh, by the way, I'm in an open relationship. Are you okay with that? But she just goes on, and then she adds that she has a boyfriend as well. Like, I don't know, it's a weird conversation there. Like, you should tell someone that you're in a, you have an open relationship, and that's what you also expect from them.
I would agree with you there. I would agree with you there. But I did really like when Ross was trying to explain monogamy, you know, and polyamory, and everybody just fell asleep.
Yeah.
The poor guy.
Yeah, the poor guy, definitely. But and I also, one last thing I want to say about this scene is that I really like how they filmed this, because the friends are on the left, and then Chandler is in a position where the date was. So it kind of like they switch between the past and the present, and it kind of like feels like the friends were actually there at the date, like
watching.
Yeah, like they say what, and then Chandler says what, and it's just like a continuity. Like I like that dynamic, or like the how they filmed that. I think it's fun and very creative.
Clever.
Yeah.
I like that they did that.
Yeah.
But we head somewhere else with our camera now, back to Monica's apartment, where Rachel has done her best to clean up after herself, much to the chagrin of Monica. The guys point out that Monica may be just a tad obsessive with her cleanliness and organization, and she does her best to try and convince them otherwise.
Yeah. But she is kind of... in this scene it really shows like her obsessiveness with cleaning and making the house tidy, and everything has its place and all that stuff. It's the beginning of a whole story.
Well, super cute with the ottoman, right? When she was like, "Oh yeah, this is an interesting place to put the ottoman. Let's just see what it looked like in the old spot."
Like they don't already know what it looked like, but okay. And I want to share like an interesting fact here, is that you can see like right in the beginning when the camera like pans over the room, you can see that the back closet, you know, the one that was, well, later in the show it's locked, but now it's open, and there's like a whole bunch of clothes in there.
Oh.
So I'm wondering, do they have like a walk-in closet? Because that would be cool. Because we never really see what's in there until like way later, but then it's like all messy. But now it's like nice and tidy and filled with clothes. So,
well, of course it's nice and tidy. It's Monica's apartment.
Yeah, but later it's also Monica's apartment, and then it's a big mess. So
oh no!
I'm not sure what
she'll be so disappointed
in herself. Yeah.
But good on Rachel for like trying to be this independent woman and cleaning up for herself, you know?
Yeah, that was like good of her, like trying to help out, also with like living there for maybe free, maybe not. I'm not sure that was
however long.
Yeah. But it's nice of her to like clean and do her best and do the windows and use all the vacuum pieces, but not the one with the bristles.
Well, I have maybe a boring friends fact for you, but that is an upholstery tool, Christine.
What is an upholstery tool?
The one with the bristles.
Oh, that's the name of it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's so you can get dust out of upholstered furniture.
Ah.
So, Jennifer Aniston, if you're listening, which of course you are, that's what that one is.
Okay.
But I thought it was really nice that the first person that she was excited to tell about her cleaning escapades was Ross.
Oh, I didn't notice that, but I actually loved that. That's so cute.
Bless. And we also got a bit of lore here. We found out that Phoebe used to live with Monica.
Oh, right. This is the first time she mentions it.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
But I really think it's funny how she describes it, like, with a knife.
The Shining, right?
Yeah.
Is that The Shining? Or some kind of horror movie?
Yeah, that was my first thought, The Shining, but I'm not entirely sure. But
it wasn't Lost.
No.
That's all I can tell
Or
you.
the other one that you mentioned, which I already forgot the name of.
I Am Legend. Spoiler alert,
Legend.
the dog dies. Christine, have you ever had roommates?
Yeah. When I was in university. I had
really?
roommates. Yeah, 4 of them.
Kiki.
No. No, Kiki. Thankfully, no.
What were they like?
They were great, actually. There was one, but that one later swapped out. But he was like very, like, he never left his room. And his room was also quite smelly. So whenever he would open his door, there would like be a waft of air coming out, which was very, very smelly. So I'm glad that he left eventually. and then another girl came and she was very nice. So that's good.
I'm wondering whose decision it was that Phoebe moved out.
Obviously Phoebe's decision.
Yeah?
Yeah. We learned that later. She kind of like sneaks out.
Oh, see, I'm not there yet.
Yeah, no. I haven't spoiled anything yet.
I'm proud of you.
Please forget what I said. And what about you, Ciara? Did you ever have like roommates in general, or like crazy roommates, or...
I have actually had a bunch, yeah, because when I was in my early working days, also at university, pretty much up until I got my current apartment, I had roommates all the time. And I have had some pretty weird ones.
Yeah,
so
tell me.
With my first job, I guess they weren't technically my roommate, but my landlady.
Okay,
and
so they lived next door or something?
No, I was renting a room in her house.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but she was definitely very, very odd. I was not allowed to go downstairs after 8 p.m. because that was her time.
Okay.
And one day I came downstairs and I was having my breakfast in the allowed time that I was allowed to be in the kitchen. And I found a letter on the table from her to a man who I'm pretty sure was in prison.
Oh my God. That is interesting. Did you read it, or...
Of course I did.
Oh my God. You're sneaky. What did it say?
I don't remember now.
You're bringing the juice and then you don't tell me.
I'm sorry. It just was very clear that she was in some kind of relationship with a man in prison. So
that's interesting.
There was that. I moved out shortly after that.
Okay, good. Yeah.
And then I got really lucky with my university roommate. So we all had to share a room, which is a lot.
Yeah. How many people?
Just 2 people in this one. But my roommate ended up dropping out after the first term. And then I ended up with one of the biggest rooms in the whole college all to myself.
That's so nice. That is
wonderful.
That's the best thing ever, yeah. And then 2 beds also, or no? Did they take the
2
bed?
2 beds, yeah.
You could make a double bed. I always see that in
I
the
already had a
TikToks.
double bed, baby.
Oh, then never mind.
That was a pretty sweet gig.
Nice. Very nice. So we continue with Joey's arrival at the apartment, where he tells the gang that Estelle has booked him a role in the new Al Pacino movie. However, this is far from an ordinary role. He will be playing Al Pacino's butt double.
I am obsessed with this writing decision. They're like, what role can we have Joey play?
I know.
A butt double.
It's far-fetched, but
you know what? I'm 100% sure that they exist.
I know. They do exist. Like, you have like body doubles.
You've done your
or
research, Christine.
Well, not butt doubles in specifically, but like they do like body doubles sometimes for if you have like a nude scene and you don't want your real body to be visible in the movies. Then they use like a body double and then just place your head on it with like CGI, I think.
Ooh.
So that's I think it happens more often in the movie world.
I'm wondering how they cast for that though, because like, do you have to know what the actor's butt looks like so that you can cast a reasonable looking butt?
Well, no, because the viewers also don't know what the butt looks like, so they can do like a purple butt or I don't know, just like a whole different butt. Like I have no idea, but they don't have to look for like an equal. That you can just do any nice looking butt.
I love how many times you said butt in that sentence. But I was wondering, like, okay, so this was clearly a big deal for Joey, right? Being in an Al Pacino film. Modern day equivalent. What do you think?
Al Pacino?
Yeah. Who would Joey really want to be in a film with? I was thinking really like the it boy of the moment, Timothée Chalamet.
Oh, yes. That's a good one. Timothée Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet. Timothy.
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino. Timothy.
Yeah, I feel like everybody wants to be in a movie with him these days.
Yeah, he is popular.
But I don't think Joey could play his butt double because Timothy is
tiny.
Quite a slight boy.
Yeah, he is. And I don't, yeah, Joey's a little bit thicker.
Well, that would be my suggestion for who this era's modern day Al Pacino would be. I'm wondering if our lovely listeners have any different ideas. Would you choose Timothy Chalamet or someone else? Let us know by dropping us a message on Instagram at FOFPodOfficial or
through our email, which is fofpodofficial@gmail.com.
I actually have a friend's fact for you, Christine.
Ooh, tell me.
And that is that there are 2 potential films that came out or that premiered after this episode that Joey could hypothetically have been butt doubling for.
Mm-hmm.
So the first of these is one called 2 Bits, which is from 1995.
And that's also an Al Pacino movie?
It is.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Or a movie called Heat.
And did you watch these movies to see if there was a shower scene?
No, I did not.
Oh, shame.
I'm too busy watching Friends.
True. Also very important. But yeah, interesting actually. I'm curious to see if there maybe is like, there's a reference to those movies. Because, Friends is kind of like what happened with the hockey puck to the face and some other stuff. The thumb in the can. They can predict the future, so who knows?
That's true. That's true. But they can also rip off a well-known brand very well, as we established in, I think, the first episode. You told me about a can of soda that had a funny name. And I noticed that also in today's episode. Ross was drinking a lovely bottle of Sepul, which for those at home might recognize is the rip-off of Snapple.
Oh, and they just removed one.
Just took out 2 letters.
Wow. That
Very
is
clever.
Yeah, that's clever, but I don't know. Also kind of then just do the whole label, just change the whole thing then.
You tell him, Christine.
Yeah, I'll tell him. But just this whole scene is I kind of felt bad for Joey in this scene because he is quite happy about his big role, his big breakthrough, his way to crack into show business.
Oh no.
Not included. But then of course the friends are quite like making jokes about it, and he also laughs about it, luckily. But I also kind of like felt sad for him because he already got like bashed about the theater show that he wasn't the greatest, and then he's getting like a good role, and then his friends are still like cracking
now you are
cracking jokes.
Yeah, but they did have to sit through Freud ! Point. So
they have the rights to it as well. But yeah, I just kind of felt sad for him, for the guy, for Joey. But
Team Joey.
Yeah, Team Joey, definitely.
So he's booked the role, and now, of course, he has to go. But on the day of the filming, Joey comes over to the girl's appointment to moisturize his moneymaker, while Chandler pops by himself to apparently steal a few items for breakfast after having spent the night with Aurora. Ooh, lucky man.
And first things first, I would never share my moisturizer with someone who's going to moisturize their butt. I wouldn't know, because that takes multiple scoops, probably.
Scoops?
Or like if it's, it depends on if it's a jar or if it's like a tube.
If it's a pump, I think I could handle it, right?
Then it's okay. But if it's a scooping, then no.
I'll give you that.
So we don't know what Monica uses, but please let it be a pump.
Yes.
Please.
Indeed. I would also not let Chandler into my house because he just stole everything. Yeah. Actually, Monica, she just gave it away. She was like, here, take my eggs, my frying pan and everything, right?
Yeah, but I think she's kind of like used to it because the friends are over there all the time and they drink all her drinks and eat all her food. And especially Joey does it. So I think she's used to it from like Joey's part.
Monica, the mother of the group.
Yeah. And there's one thing I want to say about this scene is that Chandler, of course, walks in on Joey moisturizing his butt.
Nice.
And then he says, like, my eyes. And that's sounds very familiar.
It does.
And that's, of course, like a reference. Well, I'm not sure if it's literally a reference, but might just be a coincidence to, like, later in the show where Chandler plays a big role in the reason why Phoebe says, my eyes.
I believe my reading online said that was intentional. So
yeah?
Good catch there.
Oh.
Well done.
Thank you. So next up, we head to the movie studio where Joey is preparing for his butt starring role. Unfortunately, he ends up getting too into the role itself, causing much annoyance for the director and crew.
For the real director as well, Mr. James Burrows. I hope that Matt LeBlanc did well on set today so that he didn't piss off the real director.
But I never, like I said before, I never realized that that was James Burrows. Never realized. I just thought it was a grumpy old man.
But, well, it's interesting that James Burrows is just credited as the director because last time we had the horrible woman.
Yeah.
So they don't like giving unnecessary names to people in this series.
Yeah, true.
But the likelihood is that this was actually just the Friends soundstage without the usual set on it. So they used it as a filming set because they already had one.
Yeah.
Rumor has it that in the background of this scene you can actually see a box with the word Monica.
Yes, I saw it too.
You saw it?
Did you? Didn't you? You didn't?
No.
It was quite like close to the director, but apparently it said like Monica's apartment, which I did not see. I only saw Monica's. So that's interesting. Like, does Monica live there? Or
in the box.
in the box, nice and tiny. No, but yeah, that's my first eagle eye for this episode.
Nice.
A box said Monica's.
Yeah. And what did you think about Joey's butt acting, Christine?
Yeah, pretty awful.
You didn't even see it.
No, I didn't see his butt. No, but actually, in the shadow, you can see that he's wearing swim trunks.
What did you want him to be wearing?
Yeah. Well, in the actual show, he is not wearing nothing, of course, in the actual movie. But it's better that he was wearing. But then at least wear like a Speedo, so that doesn't... Because he was like wearing... You saw like that it was like wider. And then stopped.
This was the 90s though. I think boxers were in fashion.
Yeah, but
she says from vast experience.
But then just wear a Speedo just for once. Just so you don't have the shadow. Anyway, that was just a small detail that I also read online, and then I checked and I saw it. So it's not something
this is how we do our research.
I know. So it's not something that really like stands out. So it's okay that he didn't wear a Speedo. And there was one other thing that I noticed in this scene is that there's a man who is operating the shower, and when he's closed up on Joey, he's on the right side, and then suddenly they zoom out and he's on the left side.
Yes.
Teleportation skills he has.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Omnipotence, if you will.
Yeah, maybe he got the wish.
Back on the other side of town, Chandler is enjoying things with Aurora, but deep down, he wants commitment. Aurora, well, it's clear to say that she is not such a fan of commitment, as we find out she is now with a fourth guy, Andrew.
Yeah.
And that's what makes Chandler and Aurora end up breaking up. Aww.
That's sad, but first things first. Chandler has a weird room.
He has I know what you're going to show me. She's pulled out her phone, everybody, and I can already tell because I made the same comment.
Yeah, well, the first thing I saw was this doll.
Ooh!
And it's
giving Chucky vibes.
Yeah, I was thinking the same, but then like a weird version of Chucky. I don't know. And then I was also
Sapple version of Chucky.
Yeah. And then I was also looking at the rest of the room, and there were like multiple creepy dolls.
Yes.
But also like a weird portrait above his bed, which I would expect like maybe Jesus. That's what like maybe Christian people do, like have a picture
Chandler,
of Jesus.
well known for his religious tendencies.
Yeah, but it's this dude. It's like a man holding a cigar or... Ooh. I have no idea who it is, but I would love to know. So listeners, if you've seen this man, who do you think it is?
We will post this on our social media. Because
please leave a comment there, because I have no idea who this man is.
A man with a cigar.
Yeah.
I don't know. He kind of looks like a magician to me.
He kind of looks like a Harry Potter professor.
Ooh, could be. Could be. Well, anyway, if you have any ideas, drop them on our Instagram at FOFPodOfficial or...
through our email, which is fofpodofficial@gmail.com. Oh, and another thing which I really liked about his room is that he has a laundry hamper, which is in the shape...
Basketball hoop! That's so
fun.
Cool!
I know, I want that.
Chandler does give off the energy of somebody who would have like a race car bed.
He does. He definitely does. But he just has like a normal bed.
And 4 creepy dolls.
Yeah.
And a photo of a man smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
You know, the main thing that I thought about this scene, Christine, is I miss Janice.
Aww,
I miss her. But you know, you said that Aurora looks a bit like Bellatrix Lestrange. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go ahead and say that Aurora looks like Janice.
Yeah, but Janice doesn't have like the curly hair.
Doesn't she?
No, she has like a wavy hair, but not as curly as Aurora.
I think if you squint.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, Chandler definitely has a type.
And Chandler also apparently has feelings. which I didn't know.
No? Oh, yeah. So that he chooses for himself, you mean? Or...
Well, he seems like he really wants to be with Aurora, and it affects him because, you know, at the beginning he was like, yes, all the fun, no responsibilities, but now it's like, oh, actually, I want to be with you.
Yeah, that's true. He describes it as like every moment with her is one that you remember for your whole life or something. So I guess, he has caught feelings for her.
Well, this is the first time that I think we've really seen Chandler open up, because usually he's so like silly and sarcastic, but here I think we get like maybe, there's something deeper beneath the surface.
Yeah.
So actually this was the first time that 6 episodes in, this was the first time that I'm like, maybe Chandler's not the worst.
Oh, that's good. Not the worst. That's an improvement, definitely. But yeah, he's very grown up in this scene, I think. He chooses himself and not like a girl.
Bye-bye, Aurora.
Bye. We won't miss you. Anyways, back at Monica's, most of the gang are doing their best to console Chandler after his breakup. It turns out he is not the only one who needs consoling, as Joey arrives with the news that he got fired from the movie.
You know, this is making me almost as sad as your story about the dog and the sandwich. Actually, that story did make me happy, but you set me up for a sad story. I was like, no, what's going to happen to the dog? But in the end, I was like, yes. Give that dog your sandwich. But yeah, sad. Look, we got a breakup. We got Joey getting fired, and not from an avocado peeling job. This is like it matters, you know?
Yeah, true. And yeah, poor Joey. I really like felt bad for him in this scene, because he was like so happy with his role, and like he thought that this was his great breakthrough, and then, well, he messed up. He got fired for a reason, like a pretty good reason, because he took it too far. But yeah, still like very sad.
But you said earlier that you thought like the friends weren't giving him enough support for getting this role. But I think now that they see like, here's when he really needs our support. True. And they really do it. You know, everybody is trying to play their part and make him feel better. Yeah. And Phoebe...
I know, she is so sweet with her response. Like when she says like... When there's one dude later on that says, I got the part.
I have that quote because I wrote it down because I thought it was just so sweet. And she says, I really believe big things are going to happen for you. I do. You just got to keep thinking about the day that some kid is going to run up to his friends and go, I got the part. I'm going to be Joey Tribbiani's ass.
Yeah, that's so cute. That's my favorite line from this from this episode, I think.
From this Al Pacino movie.
No, because it's just so sweet and so kind and so like well thought of as well from Phoebe. And I think, our Phoebe is just great.
She is. But even in the midst of this like very emotional scene for Joey, I like that the writers are able to put in a little bit of humor. You know, like Joey's talking about how he told everybody about his big break, no pun intended. And everyone's going to go to the theater expecting to see me. And Rachel's like, oh, Joey, no one's going to be able to tell. Joey's like, my mom will. Yeah. Apparently, maybe Joey doesn't moisturize his own butt. He has Mrs. Tribbiani there to help him out at age, 20, 28 or however old he's supposed to be. His mom still knows what his butt looks like, so...
Gosh.
Interesting,
definitely.
Questions for you, Christine. Why are Chandler and Ross sharing the same small armchair in this scene?
But I actually thought that was quite cute, because they were like sitting next to each other and like all cozy.
But it was so unnecessary. There was so much space.
Yeah, they have a lot of space there, but yeah, I thought it was cute. Just cute.
You know what I thought was cute? Not only Phoebe, cute. Joey's mom, cute. Rachel's shirt, cute.
Oh, with the cross. No,
that was earlier in the episode. I meant to mention that actually. She's shouting out Switzerland earlier in the episode, which, fun fact, the actress who plays Aurora, Sophia Milos, is a Swiss actor. Oh. So maybe that was like, ooh, it's a little callback to our guest star.
Yeah, because I actually, now you're mentioning it, the cast, I think, at least I didn't double check this fact, but I read it somewhere that the cast could decide themselves what they wore.
Oh, fun.
So maybe Rachel saw that connection, or Jennifer Aniston saw the connection and was like, oh, I'm gonna wear a t-shirt with a cross.
I can guarantee that's absolutely not what happened.
I don't know.
But then, do you have a reason why she decided to wear a shirt with a little sailor for this scene?
Because she likes to sail. She likes to sail because her dad has a boat.
And she's, You got it in one. So Chandler's apartment, pretty weird. I also noticed some other weird things in Monica's apartment.
Yeah, the wizard statue is back. Did you see it?
I saw 2 weird statues. I just wrote down 2 weird statues.
Oh, but
So I'm guessing one of them was a wizard.
Yeah, near the window in the
Yes.
back. Yeah, that's the wizard.
That's a wizard?
I mentioned him like in episode 2, I think, and I was like, "Oh, that's a cool statue," and you hadn't seen him, but
Ooh.
I
Now I
think
did.
it's
I
a
saw
wizard.
those weird statues. I also saw a ceramic box with a chicken,
Oh, I didn't see that one.
and there was a teapot that looked like it was covered
Oh.
in shells.
No, I think it was one of those. You see them more often nowadays, like with like a little house in the shape of a little house with like flowers and stuff. But I think it was like that type. It wasn't really a house, but it was like with flowers and just a lot of boom bang going on.
Bing, 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 boom, boom, boom.
Bing bing bing, boom boom boom.
Somehow we are already at the end of season 1, episode 6, and the episode finishes with Monica in bed lying wide awake as she debates whether or not to go and get the shoes she left haphazardly on the living room floor earlier. I think she really, really wanted to prove to her friends that she is not, in fact, a cook.
Yeah, but she is a little bit creepy here. She definitely is.
Was it the internal monologue that got you?
Yeah, also, but like also like the wide eyes, and when she's still like awake and in the living room, she also has like the wide eyes and just a little bit creepy. Like definitely the part where Phoebe does like that came back here. She is just kind of like a creepy lady sometimes.
Maybe she was inspired by the dolls in Chandler's bedroom.
Has she ever been in Chandler's bedroom?
I don't know. But I mean, there's got to be something that attracted the two of them to each
Yeah.
other in the first place. Maybe it's...
Hey, don't spoil.
Oh, and that's for another time. But actually, I don't know whether you know this, Christine, but the DVD version of this episode actually had a different ending.
Oh,
And I love how that's your go-to response to a fun fact. So in this alternate ending, the gang, aside from Monica, who is in bed, sing the song from Joey's play.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So
Is
they-
that on YouTube?
I couldn't find it, so I hope I'm not making that up. But I
who
think
knows?
you would have approved of that
Yeah.
alternate ending.
I would love. I would sing along.
To what? Sorry.
All you want is a ding dong, but you envy the swing. A thing through which you can tinkle, to play with or simply let hang. And that's it.
Wow.
Thank you. It was a great like a cappella kind of song there. Great.
So I gotta say, today's episode, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than last week's episode. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I like any episode that is butt related, you know. I will have my general comment of not enough Phoebe, give me more
No,
Phoebe.
true.
I
missed her.
And I did say earlier that this was the one episode where I felt like I was enjoying Chandler more, and yet in the summary of my thoughts on this episode, I wrote, every episode I like Chandler less.
No, that's not nice. Why? Why did you like him less then?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't remember when you wrote the notes. Ah, shame. Because he's getting better. He's growing as a person. He's like flowering into like a grown man, and I liked him in this.
Of course.
Well, at the end. I liked him at the end, but not at the beginning.
Yeah, and what about the episode as a whole?
I liked it, but yeah, Joey had a hard time, and the friends were a little bit unsupportive in the beginning, but later came through with the nice comment of Phoebe, and I really liked that. But like lots of Joey in this, like lots of Joey and Chandler in this episode, like they were the only storyline, right? Joey with his butt and Chandler with his Aurora.
And Monica's obsessive cleaning.
Oh right, yeah, okay, so three people.
I think they usually tend to have 3 storylines. That
Yeah,
seems to
that's
be
true.
the status quo. So.
Yeah, because last episode those were the couples.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember now. Nice. But yeah, overall, a good episode. Joey, hard time. Monica, a little cray-cray. But overall, nice. I enjoyed it. It deserves the 8 that it got on IMDb.
Yes, go give it your rating,
Yeah.
Christine. And while you're at it, why don't you give I Am Legend a good 5-star review?
No. I don't think I will like it, to be honest. Because if I heard your summary of it, the dog dies, and
That's all the movie is about.
yeah, I don't like that. I like dogs that are living and jumping around,
stealing sandwiches.
Yeah, but Bella, that was the name of the dog in the train. She was very cute. I would give her all my sandwiches.
You should.
Yeah, I will. If I see her again, I will.
And with that brings us to the end of today's episode.
Well, not quite, because we actually got a friends of friends of friends.
Listener mail time.
Yes, we got a note from Camilo. And he said that because, of course, the last time we discussed the thing that Monica knew when Ross was lost his virginity.
Oh, yeah, in the bathroom with Angela, right?
Yeah, true.
Well, no, that's not where Ross lost his virginity, but
No.
That's where we learned that Monica didn't know, apparently.
Yeah, because Camilo says that Monica knew that was his first time with Carol, but she didn't know that was his first time ever.
Ah.
Because that's what he tells like his Chandler and Joey in the hospital in the ER when he broke his nose. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, like if she knew like the whole story or just like part of it. So
okay. So she knows when he first slept with Carol, but maybe he lost his virginity before.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, Camilo, thank you for calling us out on that. I love it when we get like people with even more eagle eyes or eagle ears in this case than we do. So
very
super nice to write in. Thank you, Camilo. If anybody else has any comments, questions, let us know your story with friends. Let us know if you've ever been fired.
Yeah.
You can drop all of that to us on Instagram at FOFPodOfficial
or through our email, which is FOFPodOfficial@gmail.com.
Ah, beautiful. Well, I hope we hear from you, but in the meantime, we hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as we did. Christine, I had a great time.
Me too. I had a lovely time. And if you're enjoying this podcast, don't forget to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening this on. And hey, also leave us a rating, if you liked it, of course. And, reviews or ratings really help others to find our podcast. So, yeah, please do.
And, of course, we hope you'll join us again next time when we'll be chatting about Season 1, Episode 7, The One with the Blackout.
So, thank you so much for tuning in today, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Until then, take care, and, of course, don't forget to keep your butt moisturized. See you next time.
Bye!
3, 4.